It's the Butch and Sundance Show.
Things are starting to get really weird out there, my fine feathered friend. Here's the first clip of insanity.
I think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't.
He knows. J.D. Vance knows all of this talk about, I think this, I think that, we're waiting for disclosure. This guy has top secret clearance. He's the right-hand man to the leader of the free world. He knows.
But he's covering it up by saying, look, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Christian. I look at everything through a biblical Catholic and Christian lens. So naturally, I'm going to associate these things with being demons, because that's what a Catholic and a Christian would do, right? But at the same time, I think he's prepping us for what might be the reality. And he's not the only one. Robert Breaker, a Baptist preacher, he's a YouTuber, he's a Bible expert.
There's a reptilian race of people. And he said that they come out and things like that. Well, the devil's a reptile. He's what? That great serpent. Or he's a dragon. So does he have some sort of underground race? This sounds silly. It sounds crazy, but you ain't seen nothing yet. They just disclose to the world that these things exist. I believe when the tribulation takes place and the rapture takes place, these things are going to come out. And you're going to see things that shock you. Because right now, these demonic forces are kind of hiding. Just wait till they come out. That's what the book of Revelation says. Because they're going to come out, they're going to torment men for 5 months. Have you ever read these verses? Shame on you. You don't know your Bible. The world's about to get shocked at what's going to come. And they're going to say, we're aliens from outer space. We're here to help you. Just take a mark and you can all buy and sell and eat. And I just believe they're satanic and they're of the devil.
This guy, Robert Breaker, confirming what J.D. Vance has said, what all these stories that are going on with the reptilians, with the changing slits, they turn around and
slits and grits. It's kind of funny. We just did an episode yesterday. It didn't air yet. It's coming out on reptilian races and people shape-shifting in front of celebrities' eyes. There's stories about that. He mentioned this, reptiles underground. We talked about this in the video too, right? About the tunnels under LA where the alleged lizard people live.
That's right. And the biggest connection that he made was the biblical piece with Satan being a reptilian, a snake, a dragon in the Christian faith. That's how Satan is represented. That's what he is. But it goes through all of the major religions, all of the major dynasties of the world and the history. It goes back. Dragons, serpents, reptiles, it's there. And the connection is seemingly spiritual, demonic, as they say.
So the question is, why? Let's say all that's real, right? Let's say they're demons, and at the top of the hierarchy, it's the devil. He's organizing all these demons to masquerade as aliens. For what? This is what we're going to go into. And this is where it really gets crazy. And this is where this disclosure is coming out. Very slow trickle. Everyone's waiting for this. But the question is, what is the agenda here? Matt Gaetz talked about this.
I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication.
Look, so you got two main pieces of information coming out there in the mainstream media. You got they're demons, there's a spiritual element to this, and then you've got this staying hard on that alien component and making it more terrestrial where they're breeding with humans. So
now, where have you heard that before?
Well, there's a biblical element to that. I mean, I talk about the Nephilim.
There you go.
With
in the days of Noah, allegedly, the story goes, the fallen angels fell from the higher realms. They chose to fall, come to this earth, and mate with human women. And their children were the Nephilim, the offspring, the giants, the men of renown, Greek gods, Roman gods, Zeus, Hercules. These allegedly, from a Catholic's point of view, were the Nephilim. And what happened was the devil at that time did so much tinkering, trying to pollute the DNA of man, that it messed around with the whole bloodline. It got to the point where God was like, I'm done. And then the flood came and washed most of them away, which preserved Noah's bloodline. When you cut back to the Bible that Robert Breaker mentioned, I think it's the book of John, where his disciples ask him, hey, Jesus, how are we going to know when the end times are coming? Like, what are the signs? He said, as in the days of Noah. And if you look at the days of Noah, there was a lot of DNA tinkering going on. And that's what's happening today. And in addition to that, you have all these other worldly events, these triggers that people are also associating with the end times. But it's not just Matt Gaetz. There's others.
By just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this, if they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up, you'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I was brief. I'll just tell you this. I was brief last week on an issue, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago. And it would have set the earth on this country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers. And we need to. But you know, it's never going to get, unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up. And the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal.
I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, how
Yeah.
like little green
Tim
men
Burchett.
from Mars come in here in their little spaceship, like the Jetsons. Hey, we want to share technology. Like, that's not going to set the world on fire. Finding out that angels and demons, the devil and God is real, that's going to set the world on fire. People would probably live their lives a different way if they knew all that to be true and they knew about this spiritual warfare that's happening in other realms that you can't even see.
But here's the question. Are they going to let that truth out, or are they going to cause confusion and perpetuate the alien extraterrestrial theory? Tim Burchett has been very vocal in the past on these matters. They're feeding certain people certain ideas and certain pieces, but I don't think that's the truth. I think that their ultimate play here, you have to look at this long term here. And there's been talk around people that are close to the government, and Stephen Greer had mentioned this previously, but they are ramping us up for a staged alien invasion.
I don't know if that adds up. I don't know about that, because what benefit would that have, right? A staged alien invasion. So they come and what? Like what? To ramp up? They're already ramping up the army. They're already ramping up, spending billions of dollars on war. Like, why do they even need an alien invasion? How does that even help their cause? I think it's deeper than that. I think it's more sinister than that. If all this stuff is true, okay, you believe what you believe. It's all faith-based. Religion is faith-based. You believe what you believe. I believe this, you believe that. It's hard to change what people believe. But if all this stuff is true and we really are at the end, and there is a such thing as a rapture, how else do you explain a bunch of people suddenly disappearing? Well, if there's aliens around and they have this technology, well, you could maybe say, well, they just got beamed up and, you know, aliens did us a favor, took all the Christians and Catholics out of the world, and here we are. They were no good anyway. I don't know. Maybe that's part
We're
of
talking about General McCaslin and some of his related scientists disappearing. An episode we did a couple weeks back, he's still missing, and there are others. And Tim Burchett specifically mentions him and those other people that were related to that program that he ran.
Yeah. When we talk about this whole alien hybrid program that's allegedly taking place, I mean, they're basically saying that migrants that were coming into this country were literally being abducted, and people, mostly women, are being abducted against their will and being forced to participate in these programs, is what people are saying about them. That would explain these cattle mutilation, all these phenomenon that are associated with abductions. I don't know if you guys have seen this video about the face peelers, but check this one out.
This is a legend that goes back decades in Peru. And she saw this person dressed head to foot in black body armor, flying on a disc. And he took a nasal syringe and he sucked it up and shot it up her nose. She's passed out at this point. He floated up next to her and then he landed next to her. And he grabbed her from behind. He put his hand over her mouth.
That particular girl got away, obviously, to live to tell the story. But there's, especially in Peru, they're finding the bodies of people whose faces have been peeled off. Like, what's going on right now?
What's the purpose of peeling the face? I guess that's what I would.
It's related to this
about.
hybrid program where they need the flesh. And this guy goes into it in the interview. He says these two guys that were trying to get this woman's flesh off her face were talking. One guy was scolding the other guy, saying, no, don't do it like that. You're going to ruin it. Like, as if they were there for a specific mission and they need the flesh. This is all the stuff of science fiction. But this woman came out. She went to the authorities. There was an investigation done. This guy got involved. Were these people making all this up? The abduction rabbit hole runs deep, and it's not always something that can be trusted because a lot of it is through hypnosis. You got to be careful walking that line. You know, how much of it is imagined, how much of it is a recalled nightmare? How much of it is the hypnotist leading the individual to a certain conclusion? You got to be careful with hypnosis. And I think Bledsoe went through a hypnosis session. Whitley Strieber has written many books about it. You got the Betty and Barney Hill. We talked about that in an episode. I mean, the list is endless.
There's a good clip.
It's all the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a good clip of is it Strieber?
I'll go with Strieber.
He's on Danny Jones, and he basically says, "Yeah, I have an implant."
Yeah.
Can we see it?
You can touch it. You can't. I don't think you can touch it if you want to.
I feel like 2 years.
I can give you a CT scan of it if you want that.
Is it weird if I touch it, or is it?
No, it's fine. Doesn't matter. It might be a little hot because it's been working right here.
2-3 years ago, if you had told someone,
go ahead and touch it. Don't be scared.
Get in there, man. Get in there. Touch it. Touch it.
Get that tussin down to the bone.
I'll come touch you.
Touching his ears is great.
Is that Sean Ryan's brother on the left?
Tissue. Yeah.
No, it's
no.
not.
I mean, there's the CT scan. There's a video of the surgeon trying to remove it, and the thing fucking moving at its own, like it's
it's going
evaded
down
the
into my
surgeon.
earlobe. Yeah.
And it just like goes down. And I remember watching that.
I guess it went under.
But that's the hard part.
But it disappeared again.
Exactly.
It's actually moving now.
It went under.
It's on the run.
Well, I'm trying to guess because I could see it just bright as day, and now it's. I don't see it.
Am I gonna have weird effects now? That
No, not at all. Listen, it's been in this it's part of this conversation. It's been the year's gotten hot and cold all through the conversation of the implants.
Really?
Yeah, it's.
So you think it's how you communicate with the beings?
No, it's. I work with it. In other words, I can interrogate the implant while I'm talking.
But it was humans gave you
Two
the implant.
humans, yeah.
And
This
Suits
is something we
like
haven't
Men in
touched.
Black style.
This is something we haven't.
You know,
I think
they could have got a better video of the alleged extraction
I
of
think
it.
there's a documentary on Netflix about that. And Corbell did one too, Patient 17 or something like that. The list is endless of these guys with these things in their bodies from these abductions, But I thought Strieber was quoted as saying that he thought that these things were spiritual in nature and demonic. I don't know what he's talking about, these two humans that were there, but
I mean, I know the interesting thing about that implant that he says is he claims that it gives him like AI capabilities.
yeah.
Like it's like a supercharge for his mind. Like things come to him and he can like do things that he normally couldn't. Almost like what Elon's doing with Neuralink, right? Sounds very similar in theory.
Well, a lot of
So,
people think Elon's a hybrid.
Well, yeah.
There's the lore that's
Strieber
going
didn't
around.
tell you that
right.
Elon was one of the two guys
Yeah,
that
he
put
was
it in his
standing
head.
there. Touch this. So that's the other thing is that apparently what people are saying, obviously we don't know, is that there are hybrids among us, which is nuts, right? You got this guy, what was that guy's name? Charles Hall, the tall whites guy. Something about the guy was kind of tough to believe him. I think he passed away, but he's got,
Was that the guy that worked on the army base?
yeah, outside of the weather
walk
shack.
out and meet them.
Yeah. But he talks about them and he goes into detail about, and they were not to be trifled with. They did not seem like a benign group of people. But in any case, yeah. So
Just gets me thinking, what does this all mean and what do we need to do about this really? Like what can we do
Well,
with all this information coming out right now?
if it's true and the people who are getting abducted, and if they mention Jesus' name and the abduction stops, that's got to tell you something that this is a good versus evil type of situation. If that's true, I don't know. I wasn't invited on the abduction ceremony. I don't want to be. But if that's true, this is a spiritual battle that we're fighting right now. We're about to fight. And the question is, well, why is it coming to light now? Why are they inching steps and steps closer to this disclosure? Who does it benefit? Cui bono, right? Who benefits? Or are they
I think
setting
they're
us
losing
up?
control.
Right.
They're losing control with the amount of
Information transfer.
availability.
Yeah.
the
It's hard to lie
information that's
now.
coming to
It's
people.
hard to lie. It's
Right. And
it's you can say one thing and you can see the truth. You can see what's
Right,
going on
and
in
the truth
Iran.
is
you can see
available
what's
now.
going on in Venezuela. You can see
that's right.
the meteors crashing. You could see the drones in New Jersey. You could see everything. So what does it mean? Maybe it means this. Maybe at the end of the day, this is really what it's about.
The rest of the book, To Serve Men, it's a cookbook.
No!
I tell you, I get chills every time I see that.
Maybe they're
Just
here
got
to
them.
eat us. And if not our bodies, if not to peel our face, maybe they're here to try and mess with your soul.
If you guys enjoyed this, we really appreciate if you like and subscribe. It makes a difference for us.
Stay prayed up, stay safe. God bless.
See you soon.
It's the Butch and Sundance Show.